All right, good morning, team. Morning. Hope you had a good session yesterday. Oh, let's turn that double down. Hopefully, you had a good session yesterday without me. FOMC, what a wild session. But as we can see, what happened on FOMC was that sell the news event right here, right back to all-time highs. What didn't happen though was sellers did not take control. All right. Yet again, the story in this market is that high time frame sellers fail to take control. So we were bullish. Here's the sell the news event, back to old all-time highs. Sellers then have the opportunity to wash deeper under here back to the 20-day and this level here, and they fail. All right, they get stuck at these lows. Now, anyone who traded with me in Discord knows that we took the short, and right into here, we said very, very clearly, we cover here, we hold runners. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We made our money, and they fail, and they get squeezed out, right? So we've now back tested old all-time highs. We get squeezed out, closing basically near, not too far from the highs, and we've drifted up on a squeeze overnight. And we're coming right up into that top Bollinger Band again. So the 5-day remains bullish. All right, 5-day Bollinger Band. You can see how they're opening up. Remember here we said they will start opening up. This will start going like this. This will start going like this. And we're going to have a new upward channel unless something drastically changes. So bulls remain in control. The key thing now is that we are probably going to open up in a New York session at a new all-time high, which is not what we had here. This was an Asia London high and drifted. If we open up here, it's a new all-time high set in New York, which means we can repair this and back test. So I'm not going to be too overly bullish buying new all-time highs in the New York session. And let's dial into the hourlies, and we can see some more from here. So this chart right here, make sure you can see this. Yes, right here's your hourly. All right, this is your strong pin bar reversal down here. We shouldn't need to come back down there again if bulls are going to maintain control. In fact, so much so, I'm going to move this up to here. All right, you're really looking for dips to hold this morning. All right, if we're going to continue this bullish channel, which is starting to expand, this dip here, we talked about it in Discord, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes ago before it happens. We'll be looking for some bullish structure off this dip to go back to that all-time high. If they fail this level at 650, they have room to, let it drift down further. If they want to come and test this wick down here, or even wash it, which will be 590s, they can. All right, so if they fail to hold 650 and give us this, they might come down deeper to that 590, and then you'd be watching for that reversal play back up. If they come back down here and they build liquidity and they fail to move higher, and you see stuff like this start to happen, this is your short trigger. If they start letting go of previous day's value, there is a short back down to the value area low to this H1. It should not need to come down here again. All right, it shouldn't really need to do that. There is massive excess on this. Anyone using a TPO, that is all single prints, right? This level here, this big weekly and daily level, we were only there for 2 minutes. Literally, there's a 2-minute bar there, and that's it. That's how many higher time frame buyers were sat down there waiting, right? There's great excess on that. Shouldn't need to come back there if we're staying bullish. So I'd be looking for dips to hold into this area, or a wash underneath. Once we get into here, I'm probably not interested. Would have to let it build out liquidity if we got into 570s, all right? Anywhere above that, looking for dips to hold. Failed follow through will come if we fail up here and come back down. If you're looking for that counter trend short, all right, a push that fails, or even better, something that takes out that high, gets stuck under the old high, and then fails, can allow you failed follow through. But remember, this will be counter trend, just as this was here. We're counter trend because the higher time frame, right, is flag, higher, flag, higher, flag, higher, until we see a breakdown under here, right? Until we see something like this, we're not high time frame short. Okay, let's zoom in to above. All right, you can see Globex has done nothing but pump. All right, so there's the close yesterday, back over this key level. If you think about what we talked about in Discord the last few days, we talked about this here needing to be cleaned up. There's the cleanup of it. There's the hold of it. There's another hold of it. And now we're off to the races, all right? So really looking for longs in these kind of areas here. If they want to come and clean up Asia London, they can. Again, under Asia, if it doesn't set a trap, I'd be very cautious. I'm not really as keen on being a buyer down here. I'd need to see it set one of these. The reason being, this is chopped from yesterday. They need to protect that and stay over previous day value area high. You'd want them to stay over that and very, very bullish. If we think about a fib for the range of this whole move, that'll probably be a 50. Yeah, pretty much into the 50. You really don't want it back under that. I don't want to see it come and retest the 61s if I'm staying bullish. Right, that's going to make me feel more like there's a possible short back down if it stays heavy, right, and starts doing this. There's probably a short down to here, and then there's a cover, and then you wait to see if it gets stuck and builds out a range or recovers, and then we can get long again. I don't want to try and catch the knife today, all right? Do not want to do that. Okay, let's move into the lower time frame. So you can see this all. We're going to have a look at the ES and the MAG. You can see. All right, same story on ES, gapping up. There's the old all-time high. Already coming back down to this level here, which is much deeper. That's the level we want to avoid on NQ. So does it find a bid here for a pushback up? Does that pushback up then fail? So if I was playing ES right now, I'd be somewhat cautious about the volume that's built up here and trapped. So for you that are playing ES, and I'd be watching here. And this kind of range here is my sort of leave alone. So I'd probably do that as grey. Like I'd want to see how we react in there. And then obviously dips all the way down here. If it dips all the way down there, that would be a sell through that level, right? Remember your ATR is much bigger today as well, folks. Do not forget that. Let's go through the VIX. Back down to that old base we talked about. So you can see they climbed out. Get to a 30-minute. There was the pop that we said was likely coming out of this range, right? Because it doesn't like sitting in here without extending out. There it came for FOMC, and now we're straight back to that same level. So if it drifts under 15s, 14s, then market will remain bullish. We might get some back and forth a little bit today. Remember, we've still got OPEX. We're still in OPEX, worth reminding you all. Spiders, have we closed that gap yet? This is one thing I just want to have a quick look at. Not yet, still holding well, and Qs should be the same. Where are you? Yeah, holding very well over the old all-time highs. Just wonder if it comes and fills that gap, but we will see. All right, let's have a look at the MAG. Apple held on really well yesterday, even when the market was in a sell. You can see the patterns that we drew out. All right, here, here, here. Here's the box that's held. And we're looking for breakout now of 240 to get us up to those 250s and then keep extending ideally. Remember, I'm long Apple from 200 still on a swing. Same kind of story here for Amazon. All right, that's your shoulders. There's your neck. It's trying to build back above this. If it can do that with this bullish structure, we're going back to those 230s. Failure under here, and you'll see weakness with buyers trapped above. But right now looks pretty bullish, looks good. Slight gap up there. Goog also looks good, gapping up now. Nice run up, two-leg pullback, trying to reclaim here for a move higher, looks strong. Meta just closed its gap, I think. Yeah, it did. All right, so more of a base out on Meta, but same kind of story. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Can we get going? Microsoft. That doesn't look as pretty, all right? That does not look as pretty, but there's your channel. So let's say this level here is key in Microsoft. 511s to 506s, if they can hold this and extend, they look good. Any breakdown underneath 505s, they're probably in trouble. Lots of volume built up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions up there now. Nvidia, well, it's a tricky one. It's playing in and out of its range right now. So you'll see, we talked about those 72s, was it? 72s being the level, and this is the top side, basically 84s. That's the old range. We broke down, we bear flagged, we got stuck, we reclaimed, we're bullish through that, we filled the gap, we failed, we've dropped down to the old demand level, trying to bid back up. This is where it gets tricky. So we're really dancing now between 79 and 72. That's the dance. Reclaim 79, we go all-time highs. It looks okay, but it's just it's probably frustrated bulls who are in here looking for that, didn't get it, might have stopped out into this old level. Maybe we reclaim again and go now. We'll have to see. And Tesla looks very good. Like we said earlier this year, everyone getting all political about Tesla. Right? The market doesn't care about your politics. It cares about good levels to buy. This was clearly strong demand. This was your buying opportunity. There's your double bottom. There's your breakout, pullback, and there's your long back to highs. All right, just never, just as a lesson, never get involved in all this stuff like we hate Elon and stuff. It doesn't matter. The company's good. The structure was good. All right. If you were trying to short here because you got involved in politics, you got cooked. Right. You're now, I don't know, 200 points down, $200 down per share. Always follow structure. It doesn't matter what you think. Okay. Market opening here in 10 minutes. We will do a giveaway today as well, folks. We'll do a giveaway. If you see me run and get off the charts at any point today, it's because I am expecting some calls from back home over some medical stuff. So bear with me. If I do that, I will come back to the screen, but I have got some personal stuff to deal with today. Where have all my, I need, that's what's happened there. Let's get this back on the right one. There he is. All right, so we're watching to see if we drift lower and if it gives us the ability to buy dips anywhere in here or here, some kind of bullish structure to go back upside, If we keep failing those levels, we're not going to buy the knife. All right, we're not going to buy the knife. I won't have a chance to go through all the good mornings today, but good morning, everyone. Opening up here in 30 seconds. Nice and patient, please. Don't force your way into the market. Let's have a quick look at the book. There's a buy down at 650 right now. Not too much selling above. 650 is a nice kind of level that we've got marked out in here. We'll see if we slice through that and we come down to the old value levels, then we'll have to see what's what. Previous day value area high all the way down at 510. Don't really want to see us get that weak. Let's see. 5 seconds till the open here. And then we go from there, folks. Okay, so drifting back down towards VWAP to start the day. Zoom this in for you. Make sure it's on a 1 minute. All right. All right, most of the mag opening up green. I'm just going to turn this light down. It's so bright. Oof, can't see. There it is. There we go. All right, drifting down back to VWAP. Remember, we've got that 50 sort of level underneath. If they break down under there, that would be the second leg. And then we'll have to see if shorts get trapped or if we're going to go into a stronger sell. ES coming back down into that sort of key level as well. Same with the spiders. So their relative weakness in the spiders. And how far, how much of this gap do they want to close? Do they want to close the whole thing, which would be all the way back down here at 467s? Long gap fill that would be. All right, there's the move to 650s. There's the New York Open. All right, so no breakdown yet for shorts. They didn't get a lower low. They did trade into 650s. Watch your ATR today, folks. Your ATR is much bigger as we start to try and reclaim the New York Open here. Holding view up for now. Still some sellers coming in here, and there's still room underneath if it wants to trade lower first. Looking at the book, 650, 635. Yes, right into that pocket from 2 a.m. as well. Not quite swept it yet, but it's into it. Back to New York Open. They're trying to reclaim here. Why this is so bright today? Cannot see a thing. All right, there's New York Open. They're trying to squeeze through this now. Sellers failing to get that breakdown. Buyers trying to step in and squeeze through this now. Back to that lower time frame algo and deep flow zone pullback. I really want some liquidity built out here before we just get going to the upside, but we might not have a choice here. We'll have to see. At the moment, doesn't look like we're going to have much of a choice. ES reacting off that pocket. All right, Microsoft attempting to find a bid here as well. Rest of the market pretty much green. Really want that drift into 650 and trap the shorts underneath this low. It's not happening for us, but ES did already do it, so I am aware of that. We have divergence there already in the tape. ES has already taken that low and tried to find a bid. Sitting right on previous day high right now for the ES. Just let this settle down a minute. Back to that New York Open. ES coming back down towards that low. Yeah, YM did. YM's already gone red on the day. It's selling. Here goes the market. It's trying to squeeze up without testing. It's going to be very annoying to play if it does this. What a surprise. NQ does not want to trade lower first. So holding that New York Open. Oh, there's the start of the W. We would have liked this to come under here before doing this. This level here is now going to become key as an over-under in the New York session. All right, if they keep holding this, potentially a trade back towards these all-time highs. We know there's some supply here. Really wanted to buy dips down here today, but let's see. I'm just going to get my water bottle. I'll be right back. Into that New York Open then. This is the over-under for the first part of this session. Qs look strong. Microsoft and Amazon, the only ones red. Everything else holding very, very well here. ES has found a bid as well. All right, so remember we're gapping up. We're holding that gap at the moment. There's a possible move back towards all-time highs, which was set overnight again. All right, that's probably the target if they can get going, is back towards those all-time highs. Whether they can do that or not is a whole nother thing, but that's probably the target. We want to be buyers down here if they trap. If they keep holding this, then I'll consider it. It's not ideal. We have got both VWAPs there and the flow zones at the moment trying to curl. It's a little bit early in the session for it, but it's possible. Watch your ATR as well, folks. Remember, you've been trading in something like I don't know, 5 or 6 point ATR. Your biggest ATR today is already up at like 40 points, and we're averaging so far about 20. So watch your sizing. Yeah, I don't know. You saying the volume's bad. Like, I can see it on my visualizer. It's good. It's not peeking into yellow or red, but it's right up there on green. So it's nothing needs changing my end. Here's the squeeze then. So starting to see that New York session open hold. If you're long here, you're looking for that squeeze all the way out. I'd be proactive into these levels here where these buyers got stuck. So we can put like a couple of levels on here, and you just want to be somewhat careful into this, but you look good. If you bought that dip on this New York Open, we said that would be the over under for the start of this session. And if we start squeezing and reclaiming flow zones, you're looking for that all-time high basically into 760s, 762s. If they're going to faff this bad, it's going to be a pain. All that size that they had yesterday and overnight, and then we're already just in 59 points of range so far. No follow through either side. Nvidia to invest in Intel, really. Oh, Glenn, if you're in chat, you'll be happy. I know you've been holding that for about 10, 15 years. Still wants to move higher here, but failed follow through so far. Remember, we still have options at play here. Still people moving contracts over. SPY still under its VWAP right now. It has not reclaimed its VWAP. QQQ at the VWAP. SPY under the VWAP. NQ over the VWAP. So the ETFs, the VWAPs on the ETFs are here and they keep rejecting. A strong rejection off that. Just waiting here. This is sort of the under over. I'd like to see a dive down first. It just will encourage more shorts to come in, some profit taking, and then we can think about bidding back up. How do we have these huge moves yesterday and overnight and we're left with this? Come on. We're really not going to go back into this shit market, are we? Come on. All right, maybe they come and wash these lows and then we can see what's next. SPY back at PDH. Let's see if SPY tugs down into sort of these 660s, which would be like, what, 675 on ES? Somewhere around there. Go and wash that overnight print up. All right, here we go. Thank you, starting to do it. So it had that over-under level of New York. It's left that New York open now, moving to the downside, rejecting the VWAPs on the ETFs, coming back into that gap. SPY already under its PDH. QQQ got a long way to go. All right, this is the first level of interest down here. If they hold this and turn back inside, it'll be bullish. If they keep selling, they're going to keep back testing all these levels. So I'm not buying dips. I want to buy structure. So they're areas of interest, but I need structure. Need some structure here. Remember, if it wants to come underneath that H1 level of 587, it can, which will be the London low. Just want to check if I missed some news which is coming later today. Is there a 10 o'clock? There is a 10 o'clock. All right, 10 o'clock news as well. A SPY coming for that back test. It's very close now. There's 661 to 660 or 660.50, that kind of level. SPY coming for that back test. Finding a bid right now on the high time frame algo on the ES. We're right in that zone. This is the zone we talked about. See if they show a willingness to buy off this. Remember, so you've got buyers trapped now at 650. So we'd have to reclaim. All right, if we're going to be bullish down here, you'd need to see a reclaim of this level here and then a push up, and then you'd partial, and then above that, your high of day. You can't be bidding on it until you see that. This is a strong move. Starting to see some expansion of range, almost 100 points now. So if they want to slam down here and then recover, they can. Remember, higher time frame is upside. We got stuck on that top Bollinger. We're pulling back. If they really want to come to yesterday's value, they can. I'm definitely less interested in the market in general if that's how deep we need to go. We need to go another 150 points deeper before finding a buy. It shows quite a lot of weakness in my mind. All right, ES and Spiders both just tagged that big RBS level. They've both tagged it. How they act here now will be key. If they fail this, all right, if Spiders fail 660.50 or 660.40, then there's a potential gap fill there, which will be ugly. If they hold this RBS level, this whole market might find a bounce from here, which is what we were talking about, wasn't it? This kind of level is key. This blue box is key. Do we start reclaiming the underside of this, sort of 655, 660 and VWAPs, and then we can get off to the races for high of days. Something's changed with my lights. I can't see my screens properly. Really annoying. Getting glare off this one big time. Okay, failing to reclaim this. So still no trigger. These 50s and 60s, you can see where buyers got stuck. We're still failing it. This is the level. You'd need to see something like this to get long. Until then, can't get long. And ideally, you want to see it with the flow zones starting to curl. If we keep snapping, we can keep moving lower. It's very possible that it's counter trend short. If they stay heavy, this pocket, this pocket here for the short and this pocket, and if they get really heavy all the way down here, which will be really gross. It's the argument is it's made a new all-time high, or we've opened up at all-time high during the New York session. So if they want to go into a bigger sell than news, they can. But let's see. Where would that pullback be measured to? We did it earlier. I think it's 50%. We're into flag territory here, and 500 is basically 50%. All right, so still failures. Opening range now set. So we've got something to play with. Heavy, heavy, heavy moves. Yes, rolling over. I don't know what to do about it. Cannot see my screen, or is it this one? Hang on, folks. Sorry. So much glare. That's a bit better. Okay, failed follow through this morning so far. Surprised they don't want to clean this up in a New York session, but this is a bit like last week, and you're seeing failure to reclaim, so we're not long. I was waiting for longs today. I might be waiting all day and not get it at this point. It might be that they give this whole move back. We will see. Apple now gone red, Amazon now gone red, Microsoft red, Tesla red. 600 level here. VIX starting to find a bid coming back up to its PDC here. It's a bit iffy if we're going to stay in this range. We look like we might want to sweep that level at 590s that we talked about. Make sure I've got this nice and accurate. This box needs to be to here. All right, this is the sweep if they do it. So this is where we found bids at 2 a.m. It's basically the London low. Here's your opening range test. So do they fail the breakout side of opening range, or do we sell this down and sweep out that London low at 590s we just talked about? So far failing opening range. So if you got short there, you're looking for a breakdown of your new low, which will open the gates for the next move down. If we reclaim opening range, you will get stuck. VIX still pushing, trying to close its gap at the moment. And again, what's your ATR? Average ATR over 20 points this morning. Starting to see an attempt of a reclaim. This is very, very key on the orb here. They will need, sellers will need follow through for a new low. If they fail to get that, they will get stuck. 590 is their target right now. It's the level to go and sweep from London. Only thing in my mind is that all-time high. We still have not cleaned it up in a New York session. So I'm just wondering, do they do that today? All right, reclaiming orb here. Your short squeeze trigger is probably 650, same kind of level as before. Same kind of level as before. So they're pushing up towards it at the moment. There's the 40s. And if they squeeze through, what's that high? 53s, you probably get a short squeeze trigger then. I'm watching this carefully for a join. Nice acceleration. Back towards VWAP. So if you're already in this long, you can take a partial here. Otherwise, we're waiting for a re-squeeze through this, which we're starting to see now. This is the same level we talked about earlier. They will need to get through this and base. Through this and base for an expansion. And then if we can get through VWAP and New York Open, then we're going to come and take out these highs. So looking for longs like we talked about. That blue box held. First blue box failed into the second blue box. Didn't sweep the 90s, which is a bit disgusting. But it's not surprising given how NQs like to act recently. All right, so we're almost there. Starting to potentially offer that trigger. So orb traders got stuck. They didn't get their 90s move. We turn back inside. If we base here, we're coming for up here and up here. There's VWAP. All right, in this long. And I'll add if dips start to firm up. Beautiful. Can we get back through New York now? Lovely. Into New York. And let's see if we can get up to the opening range high. Come on. Nice. See, nice follow through here. They're lifting the offer. I think we're going to take out the opening range high and then we can look for all-time highs. Watch a little partial here into lower time frame algo and deep flow zone pullback. I don't think we're going to stop here, but we might hesitate. Looking good. This is what I was focused on the longs this morning off these higher time frame levels. There's the trap. So any pullback into here that holds, we take this out and then we come for all-time highs because we need to repair it in the New York session. That's good, folks. Seeing if a pullback will be offered before we take out the orb for me to add some sizing. Most of the market going green here. Just Amazon and Apple lagging behind a bit. Most of the market green. We're back above that New York Open, remember. ES about to come into VWAP. We are looking to squeeze higher here if possible to those all-time highs. Here comes ES into its VWAP. Be very careful here, folks. If it stutters, you might get a pullback off this level. ES into a big, big level here. Spider's already through it. QQQ through it. NQ through it. Just the ES. Like I said, here's the stutter on that VWAP for ES. Can we hold sort of the New York Open down to our VWAP? So I'd want dips to hold anywhere from 80s to 60s, basically, that 20-point range. Dips to hold in there, and then we're looking to take out 713s for a squeeze all the way up to all-time highs, which is this set overnight, 760s. All right, so looking for dips now, possibly to hold into here, build out this sort of quasi, and then we're going to come for this and this. All right, that's the plan. If we can't hold dips here, then we close the position and we reassess. Trump speaking, is he really? Oh, do I need to close this? Where and what's he speaking about? If everyone can actually inform me. I haven't seen anything come through. Nothing on first squawk. Let me check. Financial juice. With Keir Starmer. Oh, I don't give a shit about that. Keir Starmer's a bell end. It's just going to be waffle if he's talking with Starmer. We've got great allies in the UK and they've done a wonderful job and blah, 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 blah. And Sadiq Khan's an arsehole and blah, 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 blah. And I had a really nice time with the king and blah, 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 blah. Hopefully nothing of importance. All right, let's see if this dip holds here. Remember, don't want it to let go of VWAP. ES couldn't get through its 24-hour. It's coming back to test its New York. Needs to hold this. It's New York session here. Needs to hold these levels. Failing to hold these levels, then we're not interested. If we hold these levels, we've got a shot. So we want this quasi to play out for expansion higher. That's what we're looking for. Nice and simple. There's the dip that's holding. Reclaiming New York. Now we need a new high. We need to come and take out 700s. What's on the book? Not a lot. 700s, 710s. We should be able to get through there. Come on, buyers. Step back in, please. Let's have a fun day today. Come on, don't get trapped in the opening range, please. Come on. Back to that opening 5 minute. This is not ideal if we can't get through it. We retest this and stay heavy, it will be a problem. They need to trade back through this to the upside. Here's the dip into VWAP. If they don't hold this, I'm not interested in any plays here. Okay. Failing to follow through then. All due to ES being pathetic into its VWAP. So still looking at the same play, but cut that first position. Don't want to hold on if it's going to drive too deep. This is not ideal where we are right now. All right, opening 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50% of that opening 5 minute. This is not ideal. It needs to build out here and get going. We're just in range rotation if we can't do that, and that is not ideal given that we've left a weak high at the all-time highs for that Asia-London session. You've got relative weakness in the ES, which is dragging this market or stopping this market accelerating higher right now. If they want to clean up those 590s, they can, which is why I'm not going to hold on to this. Like I said, we've already cut this position. We'll wait. What a shame. What a shame. This market's got no follow through. This is going to be like trading the last few weeks. If we're going to trade like this, it's going to be see money, take money, and very boring. Maybe it'll be like this till next week, till we're through and into the new contracts, which will be a pain. It will be boring and a pain to trade. Keir Starmer has just got a face you want to absolutely lamp. Biggest twat in politics, and that's saying something. All right, back to the same level. I'm out of this now. Remember, we took the trigger long from here, from 50s. We got 50 points. Maybe it's asking too much. I still want this, but we really wanted this up here. This is coming a little bit too deep for my liking. So we'll wait for it. But the problem is we left the 590s. So if it wants to come back for these 590s, it can, which is why I'm not going to rebid at this level here. It's going to have to show me some strength. And at the moment, it's not. So we remain in a range, 114 points. And really, most of that range is the opening range of about 100 points. That's all we've got so far to play with. ES failing its VWAP, which is why we failed at those highs that we talked about. ES dragging this market down. NQ into its gap through previous day low. It's trying to test its gap at PDC. Not quite there yet. How it acts when it gets there will be key on the VIX, sorry. Morning, Coop. Okay, here's the attempt then. Are they going to do this quasi? I have to wait for strength to show up now. Book's thinning out here. You can see that on the book map above me. We just thinned right out in this area. 700 to 45 thin. Let's get some volume on here now that we've done that. Yeah, just trading inside value. Not testing yesterday's value, trading inside today's value. Whipsawing around. Look how thin we've just got. Do you all care about this 10 o'clock news that much? Lots of stuff traded up here. Where's my... What the fuck? Why is it stacked it together? I don't know. Book map confused. I've got my SVP and it's double stacked it. Normally I have it like this so I can see both sides, but for whatever reason it's not worked. I'll fix that in a minute. All right, back to that New York Open. This is the key level, over under, like we talked about. We're just trapping both sides at the moment. Lack of follow through. My main objective would be all-time highs. So here we go. Here's the quasi. So reattempt here then. Can we get going then if you're going to do this? It came way deeper than it needed to come there. Way deeper than it needed to come, all down to ES. ES banging on POC into this shelf. It needs to get back above VWAP, the ES. Otherwise, we're going to get stuck again. It would be the second attempt up there. Should be moving higher. We should be moving higher here. News coming here in 20 seconds, folks. Just be aware. News in 20 seconds. Do we get a shove off this? Just go and take out the orb high. Once we get through 12s, we should go for all-time highs. It should be that simple, really, once we get through these. So where buyers are stuck from overnight right now, right? Once we get through the opening range, we should just squeeze out. Remember, this is light volume. Shouldn't be hard work once we get up there. Here we go. Why did you have to come so deep to make me take my position off? Such a bastard. All right, here we go. Opening range high. There you go. There's TP1. ES now through VWAP. Can we get some continuation now? Please don't chop and trade back into range. Don't be a pain today to trade. I haven't got the patience for you, NQ, if you're not going to trade with follow through today. Definitely don't have the patience for it today. All right, ES slamming into that level. I want to see ES start expanding to 705s. I want to see NQ hold here and start ripping higher. It really should not be as hard as it's making it. We talk about this all the time. The faff in NQ this year, or this month especially, has been pathetic. Oh, it's just annoying, isn't it? They drift it up in London and Asia, and they can't even do a shove to repair it. Oh my God, seriously. Seriously, NQ. Come on. This is god awful. You're going to have to go back to New York Open? You that weak that you can't trade through the 712s properly? You're going to trade all the way back. Come on. Just these 700s, big level psychologically, I guess, but really, we should be moving higher. It shouldn't struggle this much. Higher time frame buyers should have come in here. The only problem is we didn't take out the 90s. We left the 90s. This should have held here, didn't. Felt the need to come deeper. This should just keep going now. It shouldn't need to keep having to back test when we've got higher time frame buys in total control here. We should be squeezing out. It should be trying to do this to repair this high up here. Come on, just break it. God's sake. I'm going to go mental here watching this weakness. Come on. Thank you. All right, now can we get some follow through? Please, market. Stop chopping back and forth. Absolutely exhausted from this market. All right, let's trade through 20s and start squeezing. Little hiccup here at 20s and then into the Globex, and then we can go, thank you, market, finally. Okay, looking to take out these highs now. Watching this little shelf on the left, this little red shelf. This is where buyers are stuck. We trade through this. We're going to trade into the all-time highs. We trade through that. We probably get expansion. It's higher time frame. Stay in control. Take care, Mo. Come on. Well, the problem is ES. It's the main lagger right now. ES needs to be getting all the way through these 700s. It's approaching up to 705. We still look good. Still in this long. I just want it to, get going. Just get going. Get going up to that overnight high. And then maybe through that, maybe we can do 800s or something today on a squeeze. I don't know. Look at this, Bella. Nice gifts from Bella yesterday. Thank you. New water bottle. All right, basing above the opening range. Still looking for expansion high. I'm looking for NQ to take out all-time highs here. Has been the plan all day since the morning brief. And we talked about this exact move this morning, either here or here, looking for some form of trap. There's the trap. You can see it's a shame they felt the need to come all the way back down to this RBS. I would have loved them to hold this, but they did, and now we're off to the races. So we're looking for trades into here. So TP1, TP2, TP3, runners for expansion. Okay. Runners for expansion. Still in this long. And if we firm up over all-time highs, we can look at a new trade to go even more long. Even more long. Here we go. So let's take out this level of London high, please. This orange line. Looking to take this out and then squeeze up to all-time highs. Come on. Just give us the trade. Stop teasing me. Stop teasing me. Come on. Through London and all-time highs. Go, 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 go. Go. There's London. Come on. You're better than that, NQ. You're better than that. Just give me one of those horrible 50-point rip candles which just smokes all the shorts. Here we go. London trimming trade being traded through. Come on. Make sure you take a TP here, by the way, folks. Should say that in case you haven't realized. All right, we're extended on this move up. Nice bullish move up. We can afford a pullback if it really wants to come and pull back, but really we just want to take this out. We can afford this if it wants. I don't really want to see that. I just want it to absolutely cook the shorts and keep drifting higher, which it's starting to do. So ES coming into lower time frame algo. We want to squeeze. Let's go. Come on. Turn the booster jets on. Take out that all-time high. Lots of you should have made money in this, either the first trade or the second trade. I cut that first trade in profit because didn't want to let this market roll back on me in case it wanted those 590s, but we held the RBS and we're coming into supply now. And I think we take this out. Honestly, I think we take this out and we take the overnight high out of 63 and possibly we squeeze up to 800. So if you've got enough size on, you can leave some for squeeze through. Here we go. What a beautiful session. Let's keep going. Do not be short against this. You are asking for it. If you're short against this, we're in a multi-time frame bullish market after two big dips have held, both yesterday and this morning pre-market. Well, in the New York session, actually. So let's see. Yeah, drop me W's in chat if you've locked some profits in with me here. 2 W's, nice. Bart, Sergio got it. Lovely, lovely work. Yeah, nice and clean. Just had to be a little patient. It's frustrating when it doesn't get going when it should. Like this had the opportunity to base out up here. I wanted this quasi to be built out up here for this. Right? It didn't really want it to come back down to this level. It didn't need to do that, but it did it. So it is what it is. So maybe we do a little stutter before going back for this high. There's no way we don't repair this high at this point. It's just whether it needs to pull back first. Come on, come on, come on. So watching trade through 50s. That's where we got stuck. And they're adding into the 800s you can see above, which is what I was saying. I feel like we've got a drift higher here in this market today. But make sure you've paid yourself. Don't just keep adding and adding and adding and not paying yourself. Oh. Yeah, lots of you getting it. Oh, that's nice to see. I'm just catching up with the chat here. So Bart, Sergio, Lee Kim, Martin, Mike, JD, Peter, Ken, Leron, Jesse, Calypso, Capt, Marek, John Dennis, Owen J, Raphael, Troy, Jeff, John W, Julian, Info Risk Trader, Bowden, Raphael, Glenn, ERF. All big wins on this. Lovely. I'm still in this. I want to take out that all-time high, and I want to see if we can. If we take out that all-time high, do we put in a giant squeeze? I'm watching ES because it's coming up to that key level where buyers are trapped. All right, so ES trading into, I'd say basically 605. That's the start of supply on ES. But once we repair that, then we go all-time high. But if ES gets stuck there, we might see a pullback in this market back towards that opening range. I don't know. I don't know if it will want to do that or if we just squeeze straight through. Ideally, we squeeze straight through because then we don't have to sit through any sort of pullbacks on our P&L. Nice, Peter. Lovely work. All right, here's 50s. Come on. All right, here we go. Almost there, folks. Almost there. Almost there. Never talked about short today. We're saying we're looking for longs. Higher time frame wants to move long. We're looking for traps. Here we go. Very close now. Very, very, very close. Let's take out these highs. Come on. What trader teaches you this stuff like me for free on stream? No one. Absolutely no one. All right, remember, we talked about the trigger longs being the 50s. So you had this long here to here. You had to wait, let it repair, long again. This is massive long. Look at this, over 100 points coming here. And you can keep holding. If we squeeze through this, you can keep holding. Because these shorts are now absolutely cooked. And 800s makes a common target. We can also think about a fib extension here. Give me a second to draw this out. TP's hit. Let's can go, team. All right, and if we keep going, we can look for well, let's just call it 850s and 927 would be a measured move for the day. But you should be locking in lots of your profit here. We've just taken out that all-time high, which is what we were looking for. Beautiful move. Thanks very much. Can I go back to sleep now? Oh, all I would have asked to make this nicer, so I would have had an even better average, would have been if we could just have done this right shoulder without the need to pull back into this imbalance. If we could have just squeezed here, but you know, it's still a great trade. It just means long, profit, cut, re-enter, profit, job done. Job done. Low-hanging fruit's gone. Anything more than this today will be a bonus now. You've made your money, all right? You've made big money on this. Big money on this. 127 on at 7. Oh, that must have been earlier because we've traded through it. Yeah, my bad. Jeff Morris, you're the GOAT. Hey, thanks very much. Yeah, big round number 800. Exactly, JD. Exactly that. Really good trade. Very nice. Do I think ES will reach overnight high? Yeah, I mean, possible. Like, it's just traded into those 705s we talked about, right? So it's got to build the quasi to get through it. So if we look at ES by comparison, and so you can see what I'm looking at, you can see this level. All right, where are buyers stuck on ES? We've already traded through this on NQ. You've got relative weakness in ES. Buyers are stuck here. Think about the buyers that came in here and here and here, and we broke down under them, leaving them stuck. We came down and back tested what? This area here where we broke out from yesterday, right? And once we reclaimed New York, boom, 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 on ES, that should trigger long. This is your take profit zone. All right, if you can trade through this zone, then you'll get the all-time highs, but you will need to build out some liquidity. It might need a pullback and then build out liquidity to go higher to clean this up. It might not even be able to do it. I don't know, because NQ, remember, has already taken it all out. We have relative strength in the Qs right now. As long as you're looking some in an ES, then you're good. All right, job done. Our main trade for the day is done. We've just taken it. It's done. All right, we made basically 100 points there. Yes, you're all saying Trump speaking. I'm going to try and ignore him. If he's just talking to the Prime Minister, I can't imagine there's anything of that much importance. Trying my best to. But yeah, I've locked mine in here and we'll wait to see if we pull back and hold. Let's turn this into some kind of bluish area. And the 5 minute was very bullish on that move up, so we left lots of imbalance here. So we would want to protect 715. You see how we're thin in here? We'd want to protect that. Why does this look terrible? It's not working. It is working. Right, so I'd say 733 down to 715. This in here, you'd want bulls to protect any of these areas for a continuation trade. I'm not really interested in shorts in this market anymore. Yesterday, I was short on the market into that fake move on FOMC for that pullback. We covered. All right. I mean, you might all be like, no, you didn't. You didn't short. You didn't cover at the lower day. We did. We literally covered low of day. All right, in the stream. All right, you can see these are profits that I was locking in. But here, previous week, value area low test coming. No shorts at low, please. Let's go. Previous week value area low. TP here, please. Runners only now for panic selling. All right, we literally covered the lows yesterday because that low was the previous week value area low that we hit yesterday. What anchor period do I recommend? As in what anchor point? Well, the New York Open would be useful, which is what you see on my screen. And then you can anchor any, big events. You could always do, like, if you trade just off anchors, you could anchor your low of day. You could anchor your high of day. Lots of people would anchor those. You can anchor news events like the FOMC high or low. All right, so you can see that's your anchor for high of day. I tend to do it off news events. All right, here's the retest. Problem is ES is not pulling back. It's just stuck at that level. You'd almost want to see a pullback here towards the 713s or something in this market. Building out lots of liquidity here right now. If they fail here, you might get that second drive, second pullback lower. If they don't fail here, then you're going to get that curl and go. Here's the curl and go. So retesting for high of day, and if it gets through that, you're looking at 800. What did we say? 800s, 850s, I think was the fib, wasn't it? 850s, 920s, I think was the actual fib. We're adding liquidity here into 800, so you can see it wants to reach up there. It is attempting to reach up towards that 800. As a beginner watching technicals, do you think the most important? What do you think the most important thing to master? Volume, liquidity, high time frame basis. That's a good question. Structure, I'd say learn structure first. Volume and liquidity are really the same thing. They're the same thing. Understanding when you have a buyer and seller trapped will come from understanding both structure and liquidity. I'd say learning to draw out the key levels and zones and trading from those key levels and zones, and not trading, beyond those or between them, and then understanding structure so you can add trades between them. So for example, today these were marked out pre-market, right? We were looking for this to hold, didn't hold. We don't buy this because it never reclaimed. If we did this, we would have bought it. It didn't. So we had a zone, structure failed. We bear flag down. We don't take the shorts because we're looking for long. So we have long sentiment. We trade down. We don't sweep 590, unfortunately. That's fine. We trade through. There's your change of character. All right. We're long, take profit, break even, long again here. Into these levels, we take profit, and we're long again if it offers anything like this. And you could take a short rotation if we start failing under here, but I'm not really too keen on that at the moment. But maybe that would change if big selling momentum comes in. We can think about it. But sentiment is to move higher. So I'd say, yeah, learning to draw zones, learning structure, and then you can add volume on top of that. Okay, ES getting stuck at those 705s kind of level we talked about. Right, it's stuck there for now. Market wants to move higher. It's like, does it need? I'm wondering, because this is straight up. It might not need to. If it's got enough caught, it will just keep trading up. But I'd like to see it trade down here first. Like we always talk about, what I want and what it does is not necessarily the same thing. If it keeps going, it's just going to squeeze through these highs all the way into 800s, I would say. Here we go. So the re-squeezing here. ES trying to get acceptance through these 08s at the moment. Remember, 705s was the start of it. If you're still in this, you look good right now for 800s. They're lifting the offer, which is great. You can see this seller at 66 just moved to 75. He's lifting the offer. If he lifts there again, we should get to 800s pretty quick. So we've got a seller on the tape who's faking, basically. He's like putting his sells and he's lifting and lifting and lifting. And that will help the market move higher. Especially if he lifts again here at 75, it would be fantastic. If you're like, how can I see him? I'm watching the book map. Buyer stepping in here. You want to see this aggressive buying stepping in. And you just want one big old push. Guy at 70. He's just lifted at 70. Came back on. He's added now at 85. So this is brilliant. They keep lifting. So we're going to squeeze. We're going to squeeze. There's your 72s. 75's coming here, folks, and that's only if he actually sells. If he lifts, we go 85s and 800 straight away. We are extended. I will remind you, we are extended. All right, so what we want to do now is basically convert this into potential demand. If we fail that, we can offer a deeper pullback down into this thin liquidity. But right now, we are keep going. Watching this seller at 75. Does he fill or not? Still there. He's only small. He's only a 30 lot. We should trade through him. Peter's still in it long. Lovely work. Tapping on this guy. 37 lot. Waiting to get filled. Does he get filled? Should squeeze straight through him through the 80s if we do. He's right here. Reattempt. There we go. Through him we go. A little bit of an offer at 77. Now we should get up to 82s. There is an offer. Someone reloaded there at 77. We should get up to 82s though, and then the 800s. Here you go, folks. There we go. Beautiful. So if you're still in this long, I'll be targeting 800, 850, 920. Those are the levels. Here you go. ES doing a good job now as well. So watch ES for a trade through 12s. All right, that would be a short squeeze trigger or a bull trap if people join late up there. When you say drill zones, do you mean of volume profiles? No, I don't mean any of those. I mean of supply and demand. Tell you what, do yourself a favor, just do the course. I'm not going to give everything else. Just do the course. It will be the best money you've spent. So go through everything on there. I give enough away for free on here each day. Just do yourself a favor, do the course. Jeff still in it? Yeah, you look good, Jeff. You want dips to hold now. Remember, we got extended there, 780s. Hey, what's going on, Aaron? Every single time frame in bullish order flow right now. That's why you cannot short on this market. If we do a blow off top up here, if for some reason they decide to get stuck up here and they want to fail, like I said, ES came into that key level. We could think about the short, but I'm really not really interested in the short today. I really am not. The momentum is so strong to the upside, and we've actually, the reason I'm less interested, if we zoom out, actually don't even need to do that. If I come to here on a 5 minute, if we just think about what we're doing in terms of back tests. All right, if we think about structurally, all right, we can see this was a breakout point. All right, resistance, 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 RBS had never been tested. Tested, higher time frame buys, step back in, reclaim, what's this? Inverse head and shoulders, what's this? The dip to it, what's this? Expansion. Don't really like the short unless we get under all this volume. All right, then maybe there's a short back down. Underneath here, definitely we're short bias because the whole market will flip. But until then, I don't like shorts. I don't like shorts. You're playing counter trend. You're going to force your opinion on the market. This thing can keep drifting higher. We talk about it. Whether it should pull back or not is one thing, but the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. What does that mean? If you keep guessing tops, you're going to learn by blowing up. Right? Nothing here. Everything's higher time frame and lower time frame bullish. Look, we're bullish lower time frame, bullish higher time frame. If you're using the trend friend, we're bullish on every single potential time frame right now. Don't guess tops. I see what you guys are saying. Course advert button. Yeah, exactly. Better to spend on the course than blown accounts. Quite right. I agree. Course of Discord will transform your trading, take it to another level. This one stop loss too high. All right, folks, let's get these likes up. We need to get to 100 likes and we will do an Apex giveaway. Still look good. You still look good for those 800s. This is just squeezing. The amount of shorts that keep adding in here will be significant. What I would say with the buys now is, all right, we did just test this little RBS level, but just be careful. If we keep doing one of these without a wash, at some point you're going to get one of these before it goes. All right, so just be careful. If you're adding in high, you're asking for it. Remember, our long trigger was down here this morning. 50s. This was your first long trigger. And then here, New York. Right, and if you're in runners, if you bought that dip, it makes sense. We just said that should be an RBS that holds. It is holding, and they are squeezing. And do not get caught buying really high here. So 780s, if they hold a bid over 780s, you should trade the 800s. Again, watch ES. We are at a potential trap level on ES. So you have liquidity here at sort of 1250s. If they push over this, sweep, and come back downside, it will be a bull trap. If they can get over this and hold bids, then ES has a chance to go back towards the all-time highs. Remember, ES is significantly lagging behind the NQ this morning. See 800 being offered on the tape. Just look above me on the book map. You can see that big red and orange line. They want it to come to 800. They really, really want it to get up there. It's a big whole number. has been our target all day. I said if we get through all-time highs, we should really try and trade 800. Fib-wise, we should try and trade 850, 920 fib-wise. We're going to do a measured move. So I think the 161 was... What's this guy doing down here? Right, these are your targets, really. Yeah, let's just call it 850, 925. Make it easy. 850, 925 based on fibs. So ES has taken that level out, that stop level that we talked about. Can it hold a bid here? If so, then it's going to aim for 17s and then 1975. If we fail here on ES, it can afford a deeper pullback back down to 705. So it can afford a 10-point pullback here if this is a bit of a bull trap. So you just have to wait and see. Yeah, IB set in 3 minutes. Not a bad IB today. 189 points at the moment. What do I think of this VIX spike? Well, we're still trading in the 15s, and we're just trading between PDL and PDC. And it's probably because we've just taken out that potential bull trap high on ES. So we just have to see. Again, remember, we're still in quad witching, folks. So you're going to get some weird and wonky moves. This is my least favorite week. Yeah, 4 of these. 3 of them? 4 of them. It's my least favorite week to trade each year. Hate quad witching. Very dangerous. Get decoupled moves. Get moves where we move higher and VIX moves higher. Very, very common. I kept saying to the team, our job this week, just survive. Just make it to next week. Make it to next week. There you go. 800 is coming for you. So I keep forgetting. 800, 850, 925. Those are the targets, team. There you go. Make sure you're locking some in here into the 800s. It might not look like a lot, but this is a decent move. Do not try and short against this market, please. All right. If you're watching anyone on YouTube that's like, oh, there's an imbalance and a fair value gap and blah, 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 and let's short this market. All right, they're full of it. You're going to get absolutely wrecked if you try and short against this market right now. It's the first time for a little while we've had every single time frame in alignment to move higher. Let's go. There's the 800. So next stop, 850s, 920s. Right, next stop, 850s, 920s. ES trying to play catch up, about to take out its highs. Once we take out that high, you will need to take a partial or close your position if you need to. So 720s basically is what you're looking for on ES. Once it takes that out, it has also filled its objective, and it would just be looking for a drift higher based on fibs. But you really should be done for the day. When you're making 50 points and then 100 plus points on a trade given to you, you should be thinking about, hey, I've made a lot of money here. Do I need to sit here any longer? Nice, Mike. Great work. Yeah, 800's tagged. I mean, that's a fantastic trade. It is a fantastic trade. Attempt 1, attempt 2. And if you bought this dip, I mean, this is still good. This is still, what, 50 odd points. It's a great trade. I wouldn't be getting long up here now, though. We're seeing one of these channels form. You will need to get long underneath an internal swing low. All right, so bulls will start chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing, and eventually we'll wash them out, and then we'll recover and keep going, probably, unless we expand too much, and then we just come back into a range. So how do you get in a market like this? Well, you should have already been in. It was as clear as day. I kept saying when I'm going to get in, I was long here and long here. And I said, this is an RBS. If it holds this, you can get long here. I didn't get long here because I already made my money, but that is a legit trade. If you didn't get in down here, then you're stuck. You have to wait now. You've missed your opportunity. No worries, Donna. Right, initial balance now set. So what's at play here? Well, ES still hasn't taken out all-time highs. It's got a chance to take out all-time highs. If we hold above initial balance, then technically we're in a trend day. I would rather see some of these stops taken before we think about anything else, right? Because of how we built this liquidity. Think about here, the trigger move from sort of 850s. We're now 850s, 650s. We're now at 800s. So that was like a 160, 170 point move. All right, now we need to wait. Look. Yeah, 167 point move. Now we wait because buyers might have got a bit exuberant up there. No worries, Glenn. I'll catch you later, buddy. All right, so see, once we took those 800s, we've sort of, there's a big psychological level. Lots of people took profit into that. ES still not taken out all-time high. So what we would like now is some form of bear trap, wouldn't we? We want the bulls up here to get stuck. We want a sweep of some of these levels of liquidity. We want a kind of inverse head and shoulder. If we're going to think about trading higher, you need something like that. Now, it might be that it's really small, but that's what you need to move higher at this point. Because what? We're in price discovery. This is all-time high. We don't know how high we can trade from here. We can do predictions, which say 850, 925, right, based on fibs and standard deviations. But as a reminder, you're above the daily Bollinger Bands. We do not like buying up here. The only way to buy high now is to trap bears in to go higher. I don't know how deep it comes. It might just do one of these. We don't know. It might not do it at all. It might be, hey, 800 was objective. Let's trade back inside to VWAP up because we have IB to VWAP up and IB low, and that would be 50% of the range, and it would still hold a higher time frame move for tomorrow. I don't know. If we take the easy money, right? Easy money was the long up to here. That was the easy money, which we took. Yeah, two-leg pullback can offer that, correct. Adam saying, I left some on the table, but I don't care. Hit more than my daily profit target I gave myself before open, and I need to practice. Get in, take the money, and get out. Yeah, that's your job. Remember, that's your job. Job's not to sit here all day and stare at the screen. Your job, make your money, clock off, get out, and then go and do something else with your day, whether it's another job or seeing friends and family or, you know, going to the gym. It doesn't matter what it is, but that is the opportunity that the market brings, is exactly that, to not sit here all day. You're not in a 9 to 5, so don't sort of get in that habit of potentially working a 9 to 5, which is what a lot of people end up doing. Priska with a W. Love it. Nice work, Priska. Lovely work. I might get off stream a little early today because I am still solo in the house and I will have to walk Luna out. And it sounds like it's been raining. Oh, it has been raining. Luna's not going to be happy with that. I tell you what I'm going to use today. I'm going to show you on stream if you haven't seen it yet. I got a goodie package from Apex yesterday, including some t-shirts and waterproof jackets and all sorts of stuff. But my favorite part was this. A little dog leash, branded Flowzone and Apex in partnership. Love it. So I'll use that today. Thank you, Bella. Very, very kind. Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe it. I could hear it raining. I was like, what's going on? I don't mind. Probably needs it, to be honest. Yeah, we need to get to 100 likes, 30 more likes, and we'll do that giveaway. All right, we're in that rotation kind of phase at the moment. Might come and sweep some of these guys out. Can still afford to hold. ES coming back into that key level. Didn't take out all-time high yet, so you have slight divergence there on ES that we always talk about. What's the time here? Let's check these hourly levels. Pulling back into the old hourly highs at the moment. So I'd say if it holds anywhere from 64 to 45 would be maybe interesting. You'd like to see it sweep in those kind of levels though. Apple's still not green. Let me have a look at this. In consolidation. I was trying to bid off the lows. Amazon's gone green, looks strong. Meta, that is weak. Or is that Google? So Google weak. Meta looks good. Nvidia pulling back. Tesla at VWAP. So Mag doesn't look the best right now, if I'm honest, looking at it as a whole. Remember, we've squeezed all the way from basically opening range. It can come very, very deep, this, if it needs. It's a big squeeze. Might not look like much from here, but there's 100 points, right? So from the breakout, there's 100 points. This is where we broke out from. Think about structure, what we did this morning. This is where we broke out from. So you're interested if it sweeps any of this and then turns. There might be a new long. If they've got any more juice, they might be done with it. They might just be like, hey, we've got what we needed. That's why we talk about the low-hanging fruits, getting your money and getting out. Not swept yet. What's that first level? 55, 51, 42s. Thanks, Myram. Thanks, mate. So into that old RBS zone, this is the old high. Do they print off here? Do they support bids off here? Or do they need to come lower first? Still not swept any of this internal range. I mean, we've swept this, to be fair, at 77s, but I'm wondering if we can come down into here. There is a sort of micro two leg forming at the moment. I'd like it to come deeper still, but that's just me if I'm going to be interested in something else. So they're holding that RBS. News here. And open still holding 10s. Let me just have a quick look at this. Side monitor. Still willing to hold this, building out a new range. Trend friend says no trade. Is it in the grey area? Depends what time frame you're on, probably. I'm probably only on the 1 minute. 1 minute. Everything else is basically a pre-market high long on the 21. But if it wants to fail down to the 200, down to this imbalance, it can. All depends what time frame you're looking at. Multi-time frame trend friend still bullish right now. Okay, and we get that second leg lower and then see what we can get. Current value 54. So remember, if we're going to go into a full rotation, if they're done with this, full rotation would be to here. I'm not interested in that. I'm not really interested in this play. I think it's too dangerous today, given that the higher time frame buyers have stepped in very clearly. They've stepped in since yesterday afternoon. But you can't rule out what's in front of you. What's in front of you right now is that we're in initial balance. We're in a rotation. Higher time frame, we're looking at, can we hold all-time highs for a move higher in expansion? But within this trading session, we're technically in a range rotation based on the initial balance. Initial balance right now, 190 points or 189 points and 3 ticks, but let's just call it 190 points. So starting to sweep now. These are some of the key levels. So this guy's just been swept. Do they sweep 51s? And do they sweep 42s? And then what happens? So leg one, do we get a leg two? And then do we see a recovery, or are they done with it? Head and shoulders, well, on a lower time frame, yeah, but if you move up the time frames, it won't look like that. So just be careful. Like I said, I wouldn't be buying, but if we start sweeping and recovering, if you're trading initial balance, this to here is possible. It's just not a trade I'm interested in when higher time frames are in the market. I prefer that in a range rotation market. Where do we get in? Right here, there's a little node. Do they protect that node or not? If they don't protect that node, then we probably trade down into 33s and all the way down here possible. So sweeping a lot of that out, tagging into 750. There's still buyers there at 750. We just tagged into that tiny little low volume node right here. You can see it. We're protecting it for now. If they finish this 2-leg here, then this is possible. And we said sweep some of this out. This is an RBS. It's a high time frame level. Like I said, if we get above here, it's bullish. If they come down deeper and then do it, it's still bullish. This is kind of, you can see this is becoming a big level to compete over at the moment right here. 75 to 70. Yes, getting really struggling there. Quite surprised they missed the highs by what, like 7 ticks or something. What was that high? 19s, and we hit 18s. 1975. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 ticks they missed the highs by on ES. Would imagine they'll come back for that. When you leave it that close, it's normally for a reason, but they don't have to do it now. So you can see they're starting to slow down here. Starting to go slightly more sideways. Someone's going to get hurt. That last pop ran those stops. They haven't sustained a bid above it. That's 75 we talked about. And they popped the stops, but they didn't bid over it. They didn't hold over it, being key. ES looks weak. It looks weak. It looks like a bit of a failure. Looks like it might want to come to VWAP on ES. It's protecting low volume for now. Remember, high time frame buyers are still in control. You're in OPEX. I'm going to remind you as well. You are in OPEX. You just don't know. VIX also trading higher. It's closed its gap now just to make it fun for you. Apple coming into VWAP, bidding off its IBL into VWAP on Apple. Let's see if it can break through it. Amazon's well through it. Google trying to find a bid at the lows, currently underneath its IBL. Meta looking a little bit iffy at those highs. Microsoft failing underneath its IBL right now. Nvidia the same thing, pulling back off IB high. And Tesla trying to break out through IB high to take out high of day right now. So a bit of a mixed bag there. ES trying to find a bid off its lower time frame algo at the moment. It looks a bit weaker, but it's trying to find a bid off its lower time frame algo. Market just stalling out here. Still thinking about it, Alex. After a great week, wondering if it's better to take tomorrow off. You want to take tomorrow off? Yeah. If you even feel like that in your head, just take it off. If you've had a good week and you're like, I don't think I want to trade tomorrow, just take it off, because you're already coming to the market with the wrong mentality at that point. Just take it off. Go and enjoy your Friday. If you had a great week, no reason to be here. Take it off. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nice one, JD. Take care, mate. Guys, we're still short of these likes. We need to get up to 100 likes. Right? We need to get up to 100 likes. I'm going to have to share this stream, aren't I? All right, these 750, 745, 740, still buyers on the tape down there. ES making a lower low here, so ES starting to break down, looking more and more like it could go for VWAP. It is into low volume at the moment, though. We are still protecting this low volume node on NQ, so divergence still at play. VIX has closed its gap. ES now trying to find a bid. This is hilarious. You'd almost rather let them sell it back down to VWAP at this point, I think. But let's see. Hi, what is the volume looking indicator on the bottom of your chart? Oh, this is Sati's volume. Sati volume stack is what it's called. All right, like I said, ES looks like it wants VWAP. Remember, it's got a long way to go down to test its RBS level. It can come all the way back down to 92s. We had divergence at those highs. It's hilarious, actually. We had divergence at the lows and divergence at the highs. Yeah, it's coming back down to those VWAPs. ES much more aggressive here. Q's still holding on. I don't think Q's slide to VWAP unless ES completely lets go of everything. They feel like they're too strong today to want to do that. Opening range, maybe. But we'll see. We are thin here. So like the level of interest here is this. Do they protect this? Do they drift all the way into it? This is where they're trying to repair, and it's where you might get something like this, and then we'll see. After moves, can I try fib 618 long to look for an entry? Or off low of day to high of day? You can. But I'm not sure it's going to get there. All the way back to your New York Open. It's possible, but I think at the moment I'd say it's asking for a lot, because then you're trading through the low volume, underneath the RBS, underneath everything back to here. I mean, I'm not ruling anything out. It's definitely possible. At the moment, we look like we're going to go for VWAP. I'd find it somewhat surprising if NQ does that, but we'll see. What volume profile is this? It's the fixed range volume profile. You draw it on your chart. You'll need data to be able to do it, or a pro account, I think. So it's measuring current volume. I've drawn it from 930 forward for every bar. So it's just showing me the New York session volume. I do not use footprints, no. All right, here's VWAP on ES. So ES coming into its VWAP. If it trades under VWAP, it can go and back test those 92s like we talked about for an RBS in the ES. NQ looks much stronger to me. So let's have a look. You can see, all right, here's the VWAPs. Where's the RBS zone intraday? It's here, isn't it? This was the breakout point that we haven't come and back tested. All right, ES would need to hold that. It failed its all-time high by the tiniest of amounts. This was a straight squeeze. This is a big pullback. You'd expect some kind of reaction to trade back up into here. If they build liquidity, it can go higher. If we fail under here, that is a no trade zone for me. Should not be failing under there. If buyers are going to step in, you'd want to see a reaction. I don't think NQ is going to follow unless something drastically changes. And we can have a look at the mag together if you want. All right, Apple at VWAP bidding off its IBL. That's strong. If it reclaims it, pops through 38, then we go off to the races upside. Amazon looks strong. Holding PDC is looking like it might want to squeeze out here. Google trying to recover. Now, failed auction. Think about this. What's this? Failed auction. Sellers under here. Reclaim. Should try and trade back up to VWAP. There's its New York Open. So that would be key. Trade through that. On Google, we should get up to here. So if we can get through this, we should get up to there. That's bullish for NQ. Meta basing looks like it wants to try and break out. It's much better than when I last looked at it. Microsoft's probably the weaker one right now. All right, sold off the open, reclaimed, squeeze, failed, two-leg pullback. It will need to hold this to get going. Nvidia, good. Didn't let go of the 72s, recovered, trying to base above here for a potential squeeze. It's possible. It needs to get back above IB. Fail IB and it can drive back down to here, but I'd be 75, 75 is 175, 75 is basically the trigger right now. And Tesla, double top at the high. After a sweep, pulling back, needs to hold this range, Tesla. You do not want it to be failing under here. As a whole, we're in a chop zone as a whole on the mag. All right, while we make a decision. Oh, look at that. The pullback on NQZ starting. Maybe they will go deeper then. Maybe they do go deeper then. ES to VWAP. NQ to this tiny node here. And Globex. Sliding. It is starting to slide. No doubt about it. Cannot deny it. It's starting to slide here. Is the term squeeze always used for upside? I only use it for upside, but you will hear other people use it for both sides of the trade, but I only use it for upside. Yeah, like I said, for me, low-hanging fruit's gone, so unless it sets something amazing up, I'm done. I'm done. We still need 25 more likes here on stream, folks. Go and share this stream with some friends. Get up to 100. If we don't make 100, we will not be doing the giveaway. It's simple as that. Need 100 likes on stream for a giveaway. Right, on Globex right now. Into the thin volume. ES into VWAP. Oh. Oh, S-A-T-Y, Sati. Sati. Yeah, S-A-T-Y volume stack. Okay, they're holding Globex. ES is trying to print off VWAP. ES did leave that all-time high. Left that all-time high. So if it finds bids today, it can go back for it. But currently, we're just trading in the middle of value. This is the volume, thin volume. If we start reclaiming above point of control, then I think we probably make new highs on this session on NQ. Like I said, I don't think NQ makes it to VWAP. It's had too much strength in the session, or it's shown me too much strength in the session to do that. So I'm watching this now. And this is like a two-leg, isn't it? This is what we talk about. This is what we drew before. Come and wash these guys out. 1, 2. If we recover this, where do you think we go? Who drew this out that half an hour for you? I don't know. Some guy who's just giving you layups for free. I don't know. Don't know what else you want. It's just absolute gift today. Well, we're holding deep pullback. We're holding Globex. We're holding low volume. We have relative strength. We have two legs. If we start getting above and producing higher highs and higher lows, lower time frame, we're going to go for new highs. All right. I'm just going to go and make myself a coffee here while giving you a gift. You know what you're looking for here. Look at this candle. Look at these guys coming in. These are buyers taking control, folks. So if we push, pull, and hold, you should be looking for longs if you haven't already made your money today. I told you, I've made my money today. I'm quite happy. But there are targets above. 850, 925. Those are measured moves, especially if the ES shows impetus to trade back through 700s. I'd say 70150, because that's where it's low vol. If it can trade back through that, back to the highs, it's got high of day in it. Here you go. This was a gift. I laid this out for you. I'm going to make a coffee here, folks, and I'll be back. Okay. All right. It will need to hold this pullback here now. NQ will be needing to hold this pullback if it wants to move higher, and ES will need to hold VWAP. You will not want to see relative weakness coming into ES here for a flush. All right. So if we hold this pullback in this imbalance, which we just created, this big engulfing candle, all right, if it can hold this big engulfing candle and find a print above here, that is your new trigger for a long. All right, if it cannot do that and we wash under here, then there's no trigger for the long. All right, so it's got the opportunity to do it. It's just got to hold pullbacks here. The key for me would be ES. ES is trading right into its VWAP, so it will need to hold those levels. This is a 1 minute chart here, folks. One of you asking. Oh. Okay, so the pullback's holding, and if we start breaking out here, this market might get moving. And it's offers at 75. You want to see it squeeze through that and then squeeze right through the initial balance. And ideally, you want the ES to join in here. You do not want it to keep stuttering around, which is what you're seeing at the moment. There you go, ES with a little flush. This might be a little stop hunt to go higher here. We'll see. Because they just dipped that and bought it. Lots of buying came down there. So that was the imbalance holding. I don't think there was any news. Let's triple check that. There you go. That was the stop hunt, I think, to go higher. I think that was a stop hunt to go higher. Yeah, it definitely looks like that now. So that was the imbalance check we just talked about on the engulfing. Here you go. So they just trapped all the shorts there. That's literally what we just talked about. There's your engulfing. There's the stop hunt. If they hold that and print higher, they need to base above this. I'm still like not thinking about a long until I need to see a candle close above this really for me to be confident. I just want to check for news as well. Okay, EU considering accelerating the end of Russian natural gas following a call by Trump. Oh, so there is some news. It's on that gas. ES swept the low there, found a bid. My coffee's just brewing. I'll be back in a minute. When that is done, I will need to get one. So shakeout here. Still think the market's trying to move higher. You can see sellers have tried a couple times down here and failed. This market wants to move higher, like we talked about. You've just got to be careful if you're playing it, because we've hit all the low-hanging fruit. The only thing left to aim for is the fib extensions. That's all you've got left to aim for right now. But this market does and is attempting to move higher at this point. Near my coffee brewing. At sort of 78, you might as well call it 80 levels massive. You can even wait for a reprint above IB if you want to be really patient, but obviously then you're buying very, very high. But there's the wash. You're looking for something like this, an expansion. You might get a hesitation and then that. If ES stays weak, it's going to make it very hard though. ES right now is not joining the party. All right, so you've got divergence at play. All right, we're up here. And we've taken this out. In fact, we're the equivalent of up here right now. Yes, showing weakness. All right, but NQ looks like it wants to move higher. I'm just going to pour my coffee out. It's just brewed. You're looking for high day here, folks. All right, it's still trying, and he's still got weakness in ES, so the divergence still at play. Like I said, low-hanging fruit's been taken. My bias would still be upside on NQ, but ES is going to make it very hard for you by the looks of it. Well, the bias is definitely still upside on NQ, and I think once you take out higher day, you should be looking for those fibs, 850 and 920, because this looks to me like reaccumulation to move higher. If we get acceptance above here, especially. All of the mag green other than Apple right now. Have a little look. Apple just needs this pullback into view up to hold. And if that holds, it can start pushing to close its gap. Amazon looks good. And Google needs to get going. Needs to hold IBL and squeeze back up to view up. Meta's drifting back down to view up. And Microsoft's same flatter view up. Nvidia looks like it wants to break out. Video looks good. Tesla just needs to join the party. So here we go. Like I said, I think Qs want the high of day. So if you're in this, you should be in it already now. It's set up. It's the inverse head and shoulders we talked about. There's your second leg. All right, you even got a micro one there. There's the imbalance. There's the hold. There's the bear trap. They came flying in there. And now you're taking this out and then this out. And then you're looking for moves up to 850 and 925, somewhere up here. All right, that's the extension. And we can measure this now as well to see if it lines up. So look at that. Even off this pullback now, measured move is basically 850 and 880. All right, so you've got new targets, but 850 seems very probable because it's a fib off multiple different pullback extensions now. Multiple. Looks really good here. Here's your initial balance retest. So here's your TP1. If you're already in this, I think we would squeeze straight through this and take out higher day. So I've got a little feeler on here just in case I want to add to my day here. And I'd love to get all the way up to those 850s. Is it the NQ chart? Yeah, it is the NQ chart, yes. I don't know any other chart which is trading at 24,785. It's definitely the NQ. All right, it's testing into that IB. Let's see if we can squeeze through it. ES still lagging behind right now. A long time is the answer to that, Nihao. A long time. So you want to see point of control and the RBS hold here now. All right, so lower time frame level is here. They will need to support this action here. This is your initial balance. If they can't get through IB, that's why I'm saying that's TP1. They will need to hold this and get back through IB. Failure of initial balance will be dangerous because that will be a lower high. If they confirm it with a lower low, we come back to VWAP. So you got battles on multiple time frames here. Oh, who's at my door this early? Interrupted a lot today. Sorry, folks. Everyone knocking on my door and needed a coffee. Lots of distractions this morning. ES failing under VWAP right now. Relative weakness. NQ still looks okay. Let me go. So that RBS level just being checked around here. That low volume, micro low volume right in here, which we just checked. And if we reclaim IB, you're off to the races. One of the questions are hilarious. All right, here we go. Is the hold of the RBS pushing back towards initial balance. Squeeze through initial balance will get you to the all-time high, which is a session high. Squeeze through that. You're looking for 850. Let's see if there's anyone on the book up there. There is a small seller up there, 40 lot, 850. Why do I plot Asia and London session? What do I look for? And what time frame for those zones? Well, the time frame for the zones is completely irrelevant, isn't it? Because it doesn't matter if you're looking at the zones on a 30-minute, hourly, daily, 5-minute, 1 minute. You're looking at a zone. It doesn't matter what time frame you look at them in. Why do we plot them? Because we want to know where stops are. It's as simple as that. That's why we plot them. If you traded London and Asia, there is data there to be seen. So if I want to look left, I can see that through these sessions, something happened. something happened. I want to know what happened in these sessions, right? In all sessions, I want to know what's been happening. And then I can build a narrative out of who's stuck, where are they stuck, and why are they stuck, and how am I going to abuse them? How am I going to make them feel maximum pain? So initial balance, test it. If you're in long in this, you can take a partial here. I really think we should be squeezing back through the 800s in a new high of day, but there's nothing wrong with locking some in here. Like I said, I've got a feeler on here. That was your push towards 800, didn't get through it. We've got a seller here at 800. Through that, we're going to go off to the races, right? Through 800, we should be looking for 809s, 825s, 850, 925s. Don't know how many times I have to say it, but you guys should be long and strong. So looking to see if we can take out 800, that whole number, and then that high of day, which is 809.25, 825, 850, 925. 900, you can think about whole number, but as a fib, 825 or 850 definitely, not 825. 850, 925 are fib extensions, right? Fib extensions of this current pullback zone right here. We want to trade into this 1618, all right, 850. That would be ideal. Beyond that, 925. Like I said, this felt like reaccumulation to me. If you think about this as a bit of a range, this is a failed breakout. Wyckoff theory, there's your pullback in, shake everyone out. Now we're going to the other side of the range. We're basing over it. We should expand higher. Got a video on that dropping hopefully this weekend. If not, be next week. Just waiting for my thumbnail to be done, to be honest. All right, here we go, folks. 800 knocking on the door. If you want to take a TP here, you can. I'm not taking a TP here. I'm looking for this breakout through high of day to get to 850. ES now starting to work as well. Here's the 800s. Let's go. How many gifts do you want on stream for free and you can't get me to 100 likes? What is wrong with you lot? I give you money for free. I give you layups for free. I give you Apex accounts for free. And you guys can't even tick the like button. It's absolutely mental. But you want to go and watch someone with cars in the background screaming bollocks at you. Mental. Absolutely mental. All right, about to take out these highs. 800s. You can see we've got liquidity on the book here. 805, 810, 815, 820. Thank you, team, getting 100 likes. Thank you. When we're out of this trade, we're going to do a giveaway. All right, when we're out of this trade, we'll do a giveaway. Here we go. Nothing but net. Let's go, man. Come on. You cannot compete with this. Let's go. Absolute gifts today. Yeah, I'm here every day, mate. Monday to Friday, 9:15 New York time. We do pre-market analysis of what I'm looking at and why. And then we trade that. That's exactly what we did today. Let's go. Let's go, folks. Nice work. All right. TP hit here. You're looking for 850, 925. I'd love to see 850, especially with ES. Look at ES now starting to bid. Remember, ES has got unfinished business. We leave highs like this for a reason. Why did we leave these highs? To make shorts come flying in. So overnight, they got short. All right, and they're using this as their stop level. They got protected, so they probably added. So if we trade through this, what do you think happens? These shorts get cooked, mate, and we go flying upside. And in that stop hunt, when we do this, we will be selling our inventory because we're not stupid. We're not going to be breakout buyers above all-time highs. We're going to sell our inventory from where we have bought nice and cheap. We're selling our inventory into their stops. All right. You should have been taking a partial here, and now you can just hold a runner. All right. How nice is this? Did we get a two-leg pullback? I think we did. Did we get a nice big engulfing candle here? Yeah. Did we leave an imbalance? Yeah. Was it seen in volume? Yeah. Was this a shake and bake? Yep. Did that encourage shorts to come in? Yep. Did we then squeeze them? Yep. Did we then hold RBS and point of control? Yep. Did we reclaim IB? Yep. Long, 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 long. Do not short. Do not be the idiot trying to short here. Oh. All right, what are you guys saying? Catching up here. It's the accent. Troy with the W. Yeah, hit me with some W's. Let me know if you got this. Let me know if you got this. Jeff Morris, it's the results. If you could give you 50 likes right now, Alex, I would. Hey, Foster Scott, good to hear from you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Are you still on the road, my friend? Or are you back now? What is your favorite futures prop firm account? That is a very good question. I have three favorites, and it really depends on your trading style. All right, it really depends on your trading style. For scaling, all right, for cheap evals and for the ability to scale and make multiple payouts, Apex. All right, people get their, as an English expression, knickers in a twist about Apex. Oh, it's trailing drawdown. Oh, it's this. Yeah, it is, until you work your way through it. Let me tell you, I take out 5 figures every single month from Apex, from just slowly building the accounts and trading them together. So Apex right up there. You can use code FCT. Take Profit Trader is also a massive favorite of mine. Why? Because you can take payouts daily. Now, again, it is a trailing drawdown in the professional accounts. It's just like Apex, but once you get past, it goes away and you can take daily payouts. And then my third favorite firm would be probably Tradeify right now. Still Tradeify right now because they offer everything. They have the advanced accounts, which are trailing drawdown. They have the growth accounts, no trailing drawdown, and they have straight to funded. Now, being very honest with you, I am working, doing some work with funding ticks at the moment. I'm trading some accounts with them, but I don't want to heavily promote them yet until I start taking payouts and seeing what they're like. All right. Okay, so we took TP. We're holding runners. You'd want to see this base above where? Above this level here, because this becomes this, and then we can look for that extension. All right, but we took TP. So now you're holding runners to see if we can get to that 850. Why do you use the 1 minute chart versus 5 minute chart? I use every chart, mate. I use every chart. So it might be the first time you're joining here. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but you will see. We move into here. I am also looking at the 5 minute chart and an hourly chart, and most of my bias for the day comes from the hourly and the daily chart, which is down here, right? So if you join me pre-market, we go through the daily chart, then the hourly chart, then the lower time frame charts, all right? So everything matters to me. I'm not just focused on a 1 minute chart, but once I know my levels and my execution and where the traps are, I can execute on a 1 minute chart. All right, 1 minute chart shows me everything I need to know, but it's easier to see on the higher time frames. You can see right here, here's a 5 minute chart. I also have this on my Ninja Trader. All right, so anyone who's used the Trend Friend Pro, what do we have here? Mr. White Guy. What is this guy? It's an inside bar. What's that? That's your trap to go higher, right? What's this? Volume. Where are we going? Trying to go expansion. What's this? Multi-time frame bullish. Where can we also see this? Multi-time frame bullish. Multi-time frame bullish. You do not go short when we're multi-time frame bullish, okay? You are betting against the whales at that point. We are risk on right now. We are in a risk on environment. Risk on environment. All right, let's see who's here, who took it, and then we're going to do this giveaway. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with you all here. Troy with the win. Nice work. Jeff Morris says buy his program. Yeah, well, if you're interested, if you like how I trade and how I explain stuff, just honestly, I hate selling. I'm not a big seller. People tell you I'm terrible at selling, but just do yourself a favor and do the course. The links are down below. Flowzonetrader.com. It's 20 hours. It's on demand. You get the Flow Zone indicator and you get lifetime access to the Discord. Prices will be going up end of the year, and the structure of it will be changing as well because my time is fairly limited and I've got to look after my students. But yeah, it's $649. If you use code FCT, it will get you $99 off right now, I think. Let's see. Todd Marston with the win. Dean with the win. Red Candles took that win. Nice work. Ken with the win. Christy with the win. Curtis with the win. Rob, Priska, Arnie, DJ Noah, Joanne, LMNO, Jamin, Nate got it. Jeff got it. Big W. Nice. Nice work, everyone. Peter, I know it's hard to predict, but do you think Asia will sell off today? They've been just buying the London. It depends where we close today, mate. I have no idea right now. Far too early to say. But like, what I would say is we're above that daily Bollinger Band. So it depends, but I don't know. I really don't know. I don't trade Asia, so. Does the reason I'm asking on the last move that folded up, how did you determine to enter long? Well, I mean, we can put these back on if you want. I've taken them off to clear out the chart, but there's you long. It's signaled. How did I know? All right. Well, this, all right, is where buyers are chasing. Buyers chase, buyers chase, buyers chase, buyers chase. Once we do that in a bullish market, what do we wait for? We wait for a sweep of these levels. We want to liquidate these buyers and attract what? Breakout shorts. So under here is where all the buyer stops are and where breakout shorts are. What do we get? A 1-2 leg. What's Alex's favorite trap in a bullish market or in a trending market? It's a 2-leg pullback with a sweep of a level. We sweep that level, then what do? We react from it. Where is this? This is a big engulfing bar. If we zoom in right here, this guy right here, all right? Here is your first green bar above red, all right? And it leaves an imbalance, all right? We then base, and then we do what? Here's a bake and shake. There's the pullback into the imbalance. Anyone who didn't get filled there has the limit orders there, they get filled. We go back up, and now we've built what? Your inverse head and shoulders. Everyone who sold here and here is now underwater. What is the target? Initial balance, high of day, runners for 850. All right, so even this, if you wanted to buy this flag or this move here, perfectly fine. But now I'm not touching it. Why? Because we've done the main move. We're holding runners to see if it goes, but if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. That's it. We're absolutely fine with that. Okay, let's get through the rest of these questions and we're going to do giveaway. How long have we got left? 30 minutes left. I'm probably done for the day. My levels are based off what time frame? Well, there's a lot of levels on here, Nihao, so there's a lot of questions today. This is initial balance, so learn what initial balance is first. All right, initial balance, purple levels are initial balance. You can learn for this in my course, or there's even a free video on this. All right, these levels down here are the previous day New York session levels. Yellow is PDC, green is previous day low, and red down here is previous day high. All right, and then you've got orange, which are Globex for me. It's everything's in my course, mate. Like, some of you are new here, I can tell, but everything's laid out for you in the course. Is there like a futures prop firm trial to practice first before you're doing the challenges? I'm thinking of moving to futures trading because of how quickly you can scale. I don't know. That's a good question. I think Trade Day might do a free one, but you're better off just getting TradingView and just doing it on demo. Just opening a paper account and trading on demo is probably the easiest way for you to do it. Or you could probably do the same on NinjaTrader. Don't quote me on that, but I think you can. Still holding runner. Ken says, I entered the buy in NAS. Stop at IB. Nate, going to sign up for the course. Ah, nice, man. Look forward to working with you. Daily Tail with a W, Jeff with a W, Raphael with a W, Teresa with the W, Mark with the W. That's what I like. You are a trader with a program, not a program that trades. Yeah, quite right. Nate, I have a Tradeify account through Apex. For some reason, I can't trade NQ1 directly from Tradeify when searching for NQ on the charts. I'm only able. You need to change the contract. So
Move that contract to NQZ. NQZ. The U contract's basically done. So that's probably why. So it might be something with Tradeify where it won't do it right now. So you want to move to NQZ. How much am I up today? A decent amount. Let's just say that. A decent amount. Bart says, best futures trading course. So took worth the investment. There's no code for Discord. So you get Discord for free when you do the course. All right. It's only for course students because I've been in many Discords in my career, and what you can't have is people who trade in completely different styles and different directions. It causes aggravation. So we all trade the same way, which means we look out for each other. But I bought my fund of futures with a quant tower a while back, and I won my fund of futures. Still trading upside here, looks good. In some drawing, but it came with Tradeify, and I'm stuck using two platforms, or can they merge so they can copy? I don't know. I would imagine Quant Tower can use Tradeify, but I don't know that for sure. I've not used it. When using NQ1, the change is automatic. On TradingView, it's automatic, but it doesn't mean Tradeify can see the same thing. What's the buy triangle on the chart? This is off the flow zone indicator. This is my custom indicator. Yeah, everything here I designed. This is letting me know buyers are taking control of the market again. All right, let's do a giveaway, folks. I think there's lots of newer traders in here today joining me. Welcome for the first time. Let's do this giveaway. All right, you will be able to have any size Apex account you want. Do me a favor, go and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at FlowZoneTrader, and then you won't miss these in the future. And let's set up this giveaway. Okay, you know the score by now, folks. All you need to type is the code, which gets you the best discount on Apex. JD's got it. What are the 3 letters which get you the best discount? Just type it in chat. You only need to type it once, and you'll be entered into the raffle, and we'll draw it live here in a couple minutes once you've all done it. Make sure you spell it right, Mohan. I can see you spelled it wrong. FZT, for those that don't know, FZT will get you the best discount at Apex and most the prop firms that you like. All right, so we'll let this run through for a couple minutes and we'll do a giveaway. You can see all these buyers. Alex can't talk right now. You can see all the sellers above me. We can dial into them so you can see them a little bit better. And they're on those fib levels that we talked about. So right here on the book, look at all these participants, all right? 5, 10, 20, 25, 30, all right? They are in those extension levels. This guy up here is the guy we want to fill, all right? That is your fib extension from that big pullback. 925 would be the next one. No one up there right now. Maybe they're out there later if we can get through. But these sellers want to get filled. Someone's trying to walk down a little bit here. You can see there were sellers here at 805. They got annoyed that they didn't get filled, so he's left 805. He's now trying to get filled at 795. So he was probably a genuine buyer earlier on in the session. You can see we walked up, filled some selling, came down. I think any fail underneath 780 now would be more problematic. That's where they came flying in before. But I'm out of this at this point. I still think it's got more juice in it. You just need ES to get going. And ES is back to that old key level. I'll do this draw for the raffle in a couple minutes so you can see ES. Still holding what? Still found a bid in front of RBS. All right, so think about the structure. Think about a line chart today. Make it nice and easy for yourself. That's what ES wants to do. Failing under here, chop zone. All right, but we're bullish all the time. ES is holding this. It wants to come and do this because we've got lots of stops here to take out. Just depends whether it can get the strength to do it. That's what it wants to do. It can, of course, leave it for another session. Okay, let's pull this raffle. All right, the winner is Bradley G. Bradley G. Right here is the winner. Bradley G. Congratulations, Bradley. Let me know you're in chat. Let me know you're here. If you're not here, we'll re-roll. But hopefully you're here. There you are. There you are. All right, Bradley, do me a favor. Shoot me an email over at info@flowzonetrader.com. Shoot me an email over there, please, mate. And just send me a screenshot of the back end of your YouTube so I know it's you. You just bought the course too. There you go. Now you're going to get a free Apex account with it. So there you go. Shoot me that email and I'll get you all set up. Dean, you want to see the ES? There you go. It's a bit bleak on ESZ right now, to be honest. Big buyer, 440 lot down at 700s. And basically a 190. There's lots of selling going on from 07. So we got thick at 07s. 07s up to 11. We got thick at 07s. Through 07s, you should get a push up to these 10s and 11s in ES. And then you got some at 15. The tape looks like it's slowed down a bit there on ES. Code for the course, Nihao, FZT. Same code. FZT. I think there's a small little promo running on it at the moment. There should be. If not, then maybe it stopped. But there was a little promo on it. It might just be 10%. I can't remember. Whatever my tech guy put it in for. All right, still holding this double bottom. Still, I think, we still know the targets of where we want to go. 850 is the real target. 850 is the real target up this guy. But we've got selling on the tape above us. I'm sorry, Dean. I'm going to have to change it back. All right, you can see all the sellers. 800. 805. 810. 820. And 825. All right, that is literal liquidity on the book. All right, it's literally resting there. You can see it above us. There's genuine sellers, or at the moment they're genuine, sat there waiting to get filled. That's where they are. Doesn't mean it has to come up there, but that's where they are. Good session today, folks. That was a really good session. I was getting annoyed with the faff from NQ. Where was it? Down here. But I'm glad it got going eventually. I would have been frustrated if they didn't do that move today. It just felt so good here. So we long here, and I think we tried some here. That's where it is. Pull that move back up. Starting to build out a little bit more of a range here, but we're still bullish overall. And these are the targets. These yellow lines are basically the targets for the extensions. I'm pretty much done. I'll sit here with you till lunch. You have 20 minutes to ask some questions, and then I've got to go and walk my dog. And we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll do the same thing tomorrow like we always do. Just rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. But yeah, there is. Let me. I'm trying to think how to do this because it's new for me as well. I've actually got a meeting today with the guy that's helped me do it all. So let me see if I can get like a little shortened URL, and I'll stick it in Discord. Mohan, no worries. Have a good day, my friend. Have a good day. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thanks to all the new people as well. It's nice to see some new names in here as this channel grows and grows. Correct, Mark. One-time payment. Yeah, no monthly fee. Discord as well comes with it. Everything. One-time payment, my friend. If you want to upgrade, there are upgrades for some of the indicators, which are you can either do one-time payment or you can do like a yearly payment. But they're for things like the like if you want it on NinjaTrader and stuff like that. What do I suggest to avoid trailing drawdown from Apex? Like use micros. Yeah, it depends on the size account, but obviously if you're using a 50k account, right, you do not need minis. You do not need minis. Think about the range that you've had today. Right? Think about the range that you've had today. So let's say you took that second long. Right, you took the long on the reclaim of New York Open. All right, so let's say you risked this low, which is what it's still pretty big, 40 points. So, but that's what you were required to do, and we traded up for the all-time high move. Let's make sure we've got that correct. All right, so your TP was this all-time high. So you're still at 2R. And how many points was that? I'm trying to see where it is. Is that it? 82 points? Yes, 82 points. So you do not need, when you're getting 82-point moves, you do not need minis. Like 3 or 4 micros will hit, well, 1 micro, but 2 micros definitely will hit your daily goal there. All right. Remember, I'm not looking for, there are some people who have come to this chat before and they're looking for 5 to 10 point scalps all the time. I do not understand that in NQ. It just doesn't, I can't make sense of it. There are markets in NQ or times when we're in rotational markets where it makes sense, all right, or at least to be protective. But if we think about the average ATR today, the average ATR, which is the average size of each candle today, is around 18 points. Right? So if you're looking for a 10-point move, chances are you're going to get stopped out over and over and over and over again, because if you're doing 10-point risk, 10-point reward, you're going to get stopped out. And maybe if you're doing a negative risk reward, it will work. But it's why I look for bigger moves when they're there. So like, for example, maybe if you're a seller in this market today, if you decided you wanted to play this short down to here for whatever reason, like I said, I was not playing that. Where's my sell? All right, and you took the break of here and you risked that. Right, your 10 points is not going to work, is it? Your 10 points is not going to work. You're already risking to get stopped out. So this one would have worked for you, maybe. It would have just, and then you would have taken a 10-point profit, which would be right here, and you would have missed out on that move down. So I try and trade to and from liquidity. It's how I try and trade. And when you do that, you do not need minis. If you're trading to and from liquidity, you do not need minis. Now, the other nice thing about not using minis on like 50k accounts is that your trailing drawdown, you shouldn't really need to worry about it, because even if you put, let's just say you put 1 micro on and it runs 100 points away from you and comes back, all right, it's $200 out of your profit. If you put 1 mini on and you do that, you're done. You're cooked. It's game over for you, right? So And in this market, it can move fairly quick. So, you know, think about, let's say you were 2 minis long a little bit early here. All right, so you go 2 minis long. What's that? Let's call that 10 points. That's $400 drawdown. And then from here, 70, 60, 50, and another 20 points. So it's 400, 800, 1600, 1800. You're in $1,800 of drawdown from that one candle if you've oversized. How mental's that? Mental, isn't it? It doesn't seem like it, but using trailing drawdown, that's what you are. And then the move comes, and it'll probably shake you out. So micros can be your best friends when you're trading with 50K accounts. Daily goal for me depends on the account size, depends how many I'm trading. But personally, I try and hit 4 figures each day across my accounts. And I don't really think too much beyond that. And what I trade my traders to do is to take base hits, right? Make $100. When you start trading, it's good. It's fine to, you know, get used to taking that 5 point, that 10 point, that 15 point, that 20 point. But once you get more confident in the system, you know, you will get frustrated if you're only taking, you know, 10 points when, let's say you got long here. Let's even say you risked this low and we looked for that break of high of day. Right, there's 55 points there. If you only take 5 points of that, you're going to be upset with yourself, aren't you? So it's just, it's fine to start that way, but you've got to learn to sit in trades. The best way to do that is to size down and to have a system. In my opinion, anyway, that's the best way to do it. Size down, have a system. Right, starting to see some failures here. We're starting to see a rotation in initial balance. I would say this now is becoming your range. All right, this is your chop range. Here's 2 fails outside of it and a fail to the downside. All right, this is the range. They can hold this range all day. They can dip down and reclaim it. They can push above and fail. They've done the damage in the account. They will build liquidity here. There is potential that they roll this over. Where will I be short? Well, I'm not going to short in here because this is bear trap territory. The higher time frame short will come really when we fail these lows down here, which are a long, long, long way away. All right, but this is now the pivot. This low created this high. Until we're under this higher time frame, we're not thinking about short. So everything else is a counter trend short or a trap. You see the amount of volume we're now building out here. Very, very thick. And we're still thin down here. This is where we're thin. So I'd even say, even though this is the RBS zone we're at now, the key is really underneath this 42s, basically a 40-point range down there to protect. And again, the major problem today is what? It's this guy being weak, and it's this for rollover having an effect. Right? We shouldn't be doing this. We should not be doing this right now. Right, but we're in rollover. What we should be doing right now is down here melting, right? Because ES is near all-time highs. This should be near lows, but we're not doing that because we're in a quad witchings phase. Once we get through this week, next week we go back into a normal market. At least we better go back into a normal market. Otherwise, I'm going to be slightly concerned. Yeah, well, quite right, Dean. I mean, for me, the older I get, the more I just don't believe in any of it. I don't care, and I mean this in the nicest way as well. I should say it in a nicer way then. It doesn't matter to me where you're from, who you vote for, what color you're born in, what color your skin is, what religion you are. I don't care. You're a human. That's it, right? We all have to share this planet together. It is unfortunate that more people do not think that way, but it doesn't matter. This it's a flaw in us as humans that we feel like we need to belong to something, and we get so passionate about belonging to something. And that also includes stupid things like football teams. I mean, you've literally, in the UK, people get stabbed and beaten up for supporting another football team, or soccer team as you would call it. It's this sense of belonging that humans need. You need to step back. We're all humans. Let's just stop killing each other, eh? Let's start looking after each other. Let's start listening to how the other people feel. Let's start trying to show some empathy, and let's start trying to rebuild this world in the correct way. That would be nice. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But you know, unfortunately, mankind has shown that it's incapable of doing that for many, many years now. It's a tale as long as time. All right, ES failing under VWAP, so it's dragging us down, and we look like we're coming to revisit this level here. So we had the chance to step in. We stepped in. We take profit. We don't get the move we want, and now he's seeing rotation from what? Now you're getting IB to VWAP. So anyone that took that, there's your trade. I didn't take that today. In fact, why is that not signaled? Have I left that off? Should have signaled. Oh, it did signal. I left it off. That's my fault. All right, and on a 2 minutes, probably even cleaner. All right, so range rotation starting. They got their exit liquidity up here. What I would say going into next month and next quarter, remember we're moving into a new quarter. If this holds as an all-time high, then we've made that high in what? In an NYC session. If we actually fail under this, then I would consider this high protected. As in it's proper, and we might not need to come back for it. But we're asking a lot. It's got to get another, like, what, 300 points lower. We get under here, it's night market time, which is what I'd love to see, but market hasn't wanted to do that. I think until that point, we err on the side of caution thinking about any shorts. Yeah, we're right into those daily bowls. Those H1 candles look horrific right now. Big wicks, big selling up there. Ken saying, yeah, God is the answer. I mean, I'd go further than that and saying, you know, just being kind is the answer. Like, however you want to find that. There's plenty of people who don't find God who are really nice human beings. So, you know, for some people it's Buddha, for some people it's Allah, for some people it's God and Jesus, it's Christianity. It can be, you know, Hindu. It can be nothing. It can just be, you know, the ability to be nice. I think personal opinion is religion forms a really great structure for people to, you know, learn or should learn how to be nice. But it depends on that individual. You know, there's plenty of people who are religious and not good people. So, but it's personal opinion. Probably dangerous to air too much of that. But I just believe in being a good person. It starts there and ends there for me. Just be a good person. Higher power. Yeah, that would be a good way to put it. Higher power. I would agree. Golden rule? Do you mean a 1-6? Are you talking about 161? We're not at 161 yet, are we? Nah, nowhere near. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. 5 minutes left here, folks. But like I said, each to their own. I don't judge anyone. Like, we're all human. Anyone can follow and do whatever they want. Do unto others. Yeah, quite right. Exactly, Capped. That is the basis of most things that we learn. I mean, I found it interesting. I was listening to a podcast recently Who was it with? Who was it with? It might have been on one of Stephen Bartlett's ones. It was talking about higher power being consciousness, and if we're all collective, if we're all one being effectively on this earth for that higher power, like evolving in consciousness, that really whatever we do is singular. It's all learning together, and then they were saying, well, if that's the case, where is room for Christianity or religion? And the guy answered, I thought a brilliant answer. He said, well, there's plenty of room because Christianity or all religions actually say the same thing, which is exactly what you just said there, JD and Capt. Do unto others or treat others like you would be like to be treated, or, you know, and they were referenced in this case, that the one I can remember, they referenced a few things. And if you guys know the podcast, let me know. But they referenced a part of, I think it was in John's Testament. I'm trying to remember, and it was something like Jesus thanked him for something, and he didn't understand what. And he's like, "What are you thanking me for? I haven't done anything for you." And then he was like, "Well, you gave that person food when they needed it, and you gave that other person shelter when they needed it, and you gave that other person something else when they needed it, which means you've helped me." I'm butchering the words. The sentiment is that that's the same as consciousness. That's the same thought as treating your neighbors like you want to be treated. Do unto others. It's all the same thought, isn't it? It's the correct thought. Just treat people nicely how you would want to be treated. Treat people with respect. That is it. Isn't that why we're here? Don't we need to coexist on this earth together? Is there any need for anything going on right now? I don't think so. Why have we not learned? We're no better than, is anything happening right now much better than caveman times or British Empire times, which were horrific, or Nordic times, Vikings? It's all the same things. It's just different costumes. We're still, hate to say it, we're still killing people and taking land over, well, we want this oil and we want this gold and we want this, and it's just all bollocks. Anyway, idealist views from me, I guess you could say, but that's how I live, especially as I get older, more and more and more. I think you should trade your live stream thumbnail too. Okay, Unreal. I'm not against that. Can you tell me what I should trade it to and why? I have someone that designs it. Is it not very good? Open to that, but always interested in why. Ken, been sober since 4/13/92, and I don't do that on my own. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Have I ever heard of the comedian Bill Hicks? I don't think I have. Let me have a look, see if I recognize them. I would sit here and chat with you guys all day if my wife was back, but I've got to take my doggo out. No, I don't know them. I don't recognize them either. Do I ever trade or look at candlestick patterns? Well, I think everything we traded today is a candlestick pattern. Everything's a pattern, really. I'm going to delete this for a second. All right. What is this? It's a bear flag. What comes after the bear flag? What's this? Bear flag's on a two-leg pullback. What is this? Engulfing pattern. What is this? Pullback into liquidity, into bear flag, into resistance becomes support. What is this? Buying over this candle. Buying the reclaim over this candle. This is an inside bar. What's this? Buying the pullback over this. It's the same thing, right? What's this? Two leg. What's this? Engulfing pattern. Where does it happen? over the 21, over the flow zones. What are you doing? Buying above weakness? What's this? Pull back into volume. What happens then? Reclaim, buying, inverse head and shoulders. You know, they're all the same thing. Yes, NRS, 100% NRS. I agree with that. I think that's why I enjoy teaching. I think that's exactly it. I enjoy paying forward. Yeah, I do think there's something to be said for that, Michael. I've read lots on it. I'm not convinced, because there's two schools of thought with that, like the sim theory. I don't think that's the case. Some of you might call me woo-woo. I am absolutely 100% certain in my mind that we are probably not from here. We were probably put here. I'm 100% certain that, you know, there is extraterrestrial life. I'm 100% certain that the US government, Chinese government, and Russian government know about that extraterrestrial life. I'm 100% certain that we have free, or how can I put it? We can create energy for free, and they won't let us do it because they use oil, gold, mining for control over other countries in the world. And if you take that away, you get a completely defunct system that they like to control. And I think that's where we're at right now. So I think we're very close to, you know, some pretty big stuff happening. But whether mankind has evolved enough to cope with it and to be like, hey, yeah, this is good. Who's they? They be the powers that be above government grade. Yeah, if you want to go and read any of this stuff or watch any of the videos, there's tons of films out there you can watch on this stuff. But they be the powers that be. You know, why was non-combustion energy for things like cars invented and people killed so many times? They already have it. We already know they have it. The evidence is there. It's just plausible deniability. Spread fake news for, you know, since the 1930s, let's say, long enough, and then you're going to not believe anyone. All right, New York VWAP still holding. My bias is still upside, but you know, I think we've hit main targets. The only thing left, if you're looking to be a buyer today, is to look for those fib extensions. But right now, we're in this range. This is the main range, right? Failing under this range, failing over this range. This can be a rotation of this range until one set step in. Yeah, totally, Michael. I mean, I've watched all of them. Absolutely all of them. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. I mean, what happens if and when, you know, publicly they turn around and say, hey, yeah, we've spent trillions of your dollars since 1930s. We have free energy. We didn't release it. We have UAPs. We have their technology. We have the bio, and we've lied to you with your own money. That's where we're heading at the moment. That's where we're heading. I've always said, as a believer, like, this is going to sound stupid to you, but ever since I went to see my family in Cairo in my 20s, and I was very lucky. I got to go into some of the sort of temples that public aren't allowed in. One of the privileges of my dad knowing, living there his whole life and knowing some of the excavators and stuff like that. And as soon as I saw them, I was like, it's not man-made. I knew instantly. I was like, it's not man-made. I remember saying to my dad, he was like, don't be stupid. Like, it's not man-made. Simple as that. I knew instantly. And I've never thought twice about it since. And I maintain that. And everything I'm seeing maintains that. I think, why has everyone forgotten about these drones which were here earlier in the year? Well, what were they? Well, they were UAPs. Were they from another life form? I don't think they were. I think China and Russia, or probably China, probably already has some form of tech. Then you have to argue, why are they so adamant on certain land? Well, you wonder if it's rich in some sort of mineral that they need for this. But yeah, some of the stories are incredible. I could go on about this stuff for ages, but I felt this way for a long time. But, you know, you get looked at like you're a nut job and nothing comes out. And I tell you what, if all this stuff comes out, you and I and everyone on here, we're fucked because this job we're doing right now, it goes away instantly. You probably, if it comes out, you want to invest in defensive stocks. You can say goodbye to the USD. You can say goodbye to most of the things that hold the market up. They will be completely defunct. Oil will go straight down in the pan and burn forever. It would completely destroy what we do here as a job. That's for sure. But maybe we don't need jobs any longer. We'll see. We'll see. But there's my rant. There's an interesting view on the world. But who knows? Either way, it doesn't matter, does it? Just be nice to each other. It doesn't matter. Do I trade options? No, Nihao, I don't. Sometimes I'll take some leaps. I'll take some leaps if I'm looking to swing long. But at the moment, I'm not in any leaps at the moment. I'm in commons. Swing long in everything. So I'm still holding about 10% of my open position. I'm up over 400% on that still. I'm long Apple, which I'm up on. I'm long Amazon, which I'm up on. I'm long AMD, which is not moving at all for me. And that is most of my position. I've been waiting to get pullbacks on the ETFs, and I didn't get any. Not at the levels I wanted. Maybe yesterday was the day, but I didn't get it. So we'll see. All right, team. Wishing you all a really good rest of your day. Remember, we hit our TPs. If you trade with me, if this is your first time joining me, you should know. Once we take low-hanging fruit, we lose interest. That's why I have these discussions like this and can talk about other stuff. I'm less interested in the market. It can give the whole thing back. I don't really care because our bias this morning was long expansion through that Globex high because it was an improper high. We did that move. We reattempted it. We got long again on the reattempt. We made some money on that, but there was no follow-through. So now I'm kind of done, right? You can stick around for the afternoon session if you want, but what you would need to look at is what we do on this daily in H1. So just before I leave you, I'll take you back as a reminder. All right, daily is doing what? It's trading between 5-day and top Bollinger. Very rare that we want to squeeze outside of top Bollinger. You see what happens at the upper and lower Bollingers. We don't like stuff beyond 2 standard deviations. So, maybe it can close outside. Maybe tomorrow offers another squeeze up and then the Bollinger will catch up. And then maybe Monday we trade back inside the range. That's on the daily. On the hourly, all right, you are seeing some form of rejection up here, aren't you? This is fairly clear rejection so far. It's failing to trade through 800s. Right, we are failing that top Bollinger up here. We cannot trade through it right now. Hourly has a chop zone in here, which I'm not really interested in. This is the level buyers will want to hold. All right, 725 down to 686. Make sure you can see that. This is where buyers will want to hold. They will not want it to drop below that. Why? Because we're probably thin on structure underneath that. If we fade underneath this and get stuck, all these buyers remain stuck, and then there is a potential trade back down towards here where higher time frame sellers bought. Why did they buy there? Because it's the old high, right? So we expanded a little bit lower and then caught it. So there is a potential short under 685. All right, back down to retest some of these levels, but it can also be a bear trap scenario. I will wait for tomorrow for that. For me personally, I'll just let this build out some liquidity here. All right, so at the moment, this is what we're doing. It can do this and it can do this. All right. And we can, once we get down there, it can bid back off it if it wants. But I'm going to leave this afternoon and let that formulate for tomorrow, I think. Higher time frame, bias is still upside, but we might need a bit of a cool off. That is it. I'll just give you a quick look at the mag before I go. You're into lunch as well, remember, folks. So Apple. All right, fading off initial balance. So you're seeing that IB low to VWAP, potentially back to IB low. This area here should be protected by Apple. They should come in and protect that. Amazon, all right, IB low, VWAP trade, back to IB high. If they fail IB high, back to VWAP. If they reclaim IB high, back to previous day highs. That's what you're looking for on Amazon. Goog, that's in a fade. All right, here's your range early in the day. Failed to hold IB. You're in a gap fill scenario here on Goo. That yellow line is your gap fill. Meta also rolling over. All right. Failed to reclaim IB high. Failed. So there's IB high to view up, potentially back down for gap fill. There's your gap fill, which it did fill this morning. So it's interesting. It's even thinking about coming back there right now. But that might be a 161 on Meta, just from eyeballing it. Microsoft, make sure I'm on the right chart for you all. Same kind of thing. All right, opening range, reclaim view up, IB high, fail IB high, view up, under view up, stuck, IB low. Fail IB low, previous day low. Starting to see weakness coming to some of these tech names at the moment in the intraday session. Nvidia still looks great. W, hold of RBS, hold of RBS. All the time we're holding these levels on Nvidia, it can still grind higher. Underneath 75, I'd look for weakness back down to the lows. But right now, anything above here looks good. And the last one to look at today will be Tesla. And that's just got hammered after sweeping the high. All right, IB high, view up, IB low. Same trade. See how everything I teach you happens on everything. Doesn't matter what the asset. It does not matter what the asset. We move the same way. All right, folks, back tomorrow. Have a great day. Have a great afternoon session. Hopefully, you should have made lots of money with me this morning. And anything beyond that should for you be a bonus. Do not overstay your welcome. Your job is to not stick here all day and just look at the charts. Remember, there's a whole world out there. Go and touch grass. Go and see some friends. Be with loved ones. Do things that make you happy. That should not be staring at a chart. This is not a fun job. Okay, it's exhausting. It's tiring. It can be fun at times, but there's a whole world out there. Peace and love. Trade safe. I'll see you again tomorrow morning, 9:15 New York time. Don't forget, if you want to help the channel out, you can click any of the links down below. All that money goes back into the channel. Peace and love.